Hello there, it's week 19 of Instant Value Handicapping. Last week I started the video by saying we weren't sweating. The temperature was in the 90s in the Pacific Northwest, but we had a positive ROI of around 6%. This week, the weather jumped up to about 115 the last 2 days. The ROI dropped down to below 1%. We are sweating. We just got 2 weeks to go before our 20-week review. Got to hang on to that positive ROI, build it up a little. We're going to look at 2 racetracks tonight, Emerald Downs and Evangeline Downs for Wednesday, June 30th. And just a little look ahead. Mark Kramer will be joining us on a new video segment we'll be posting here called The Slow Train to the Travers. We're going to look at stakes races leading up to the Travers Stakes at Saratoga. And Mark is going to give his opinion on some of the top runners. And those of you who know Mark knows that he always has an interesting take on things. So hit like, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss that. And we'll be right back with the picks this week for Emerald and Evangeline Downs. We haven't done Emerald Downs yet on this video series, so we're going to try to get started in the right direction right out of the box here. Wednesday's card at Emerald Downs held just one false favorite that we could identify. And even there, we're kind of stretching the limits of the false favorite methods from the punter's tail. The favorite here is very accomplished. In this 7th race, it's the feature race. The horse we're looking at is number 5, Dutton. And we're also going to look at our alternative bets against him, number 2, Oh Marvelous Me, and number 7, Catfish Hunter. So I have to make a case for Dutton being a false favorite. That's tough to do. He ran 3 races as a 2-year-old. He crushed his competition in all 3. 2 sprints, then they stretched him to a mile 16th in a stakes race. He won that. So he returns here for his 3-year-old debut in a sprint. It's an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, and therein lies the problem. It's kind of early in the year and early in the season for a 3-year-old to be taking on older horses. So that's the first obstacle he faces. The second one is that his winning times at 6 furlongs and his 6 furlong splits are slower than several horses in here who ran 6 furlongs last year and this year. So he has to improve his speed and do it against older horses. He's only faced 2-year-olds last year. It's a tall order. I suspect the trainer is using this sprint as a prep race for longer stakes races, and specifically stakes races for 3-year-olds later in the season. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but he should be a big favorite, and we should get some decent prices betting against him. And the 2 horses we're going to use to do that are both trained by Sharon Ross. Number 2, Oh Marvelous Me, ended last year's meet at Emerald Downs with 2 wins at this level. So he's accomplished at this level. He had a prep race where he ran a sprint and was defeated by a horse who went on to win a stakes race. So he looks fit, ready to roll, should improve in his second start off a layoff. Sharon Ross's other horse on the outside is number 7, Catfish Hunter. He also ran in that race against the horse who came out next time and beat stakes horses. And he very impressively stalked a blistering pace set by that winner. And he should get a slightly easier trip here. I don't think there's anyone quite of that caliber here who can run the fractions he had to face last time. So they both look fit and ready. Catfish Hunter should be out there on the lead or contesting the lead is Stablemate, probably sitting back a little, waiting for people to tire. It's a good 1-2 punch for Sharon Ross. That's what we're going with. The other thing that we're starting to do here is the place bet of the day. And what I do is I look for the strongest favorite on the card and recommend a place bet on that favorite. I've done that mostly on the weekend false favorite reports, where it is 5 for 5, I believe. We had another one last Saturday at EVANGELINE Downs. The prices have ranged from $2.10 to $3.80. We're hitting 100% of those. So we're going to continue with that. And here at Emerald, we're looking at the 5th race favorite, number 3, Just Passing Time. Looks pretty solid in this race. Looks like probably has found his level at the maiden $8,000 level, finishing second last time. Should continue to improve for a very good trainer. So those are the plays at Emerald, and we will take a look at Evangeline in one moment. If you're new to these videos and you're wondering what the heck are we doing, all the methods, all the selections are based on my book, The Punter's Tale, A Bettor's Quest for Racetrack Profits. It's available on our website, lazybettorusa.com. Postage is free. The methods are detailing how to identify a false favorite in a horse race. And the second part of the book talks about possible ways to find good alternative bets in races that contain a false favorite. So we've been doing these videos now for 18 weeks. We started out with a negative ROI at Gulfstream Park, and since we abandoned Florida around week 8, this has really worked very well at the fairgrounds, at Evangeline Downs. Our weekend free reports we put out, it worked absolutely near perfect at Emerald Downs. So these are live playouts of the methods in the book, and it's playing out pretty well. Again, the book's available at lazybettorusa.com. Postage is free, and we've got a lot of other good stuff on there. Free false favorite reports on the weekend, reviews of some of the major races, including the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, and coming up, the Travers Stakes, with Mark Kramer's input on the prep races for that. So check out the book and all the features at lazybettorusa.com. And on to our home away from home we go. Down to Louisiana, to Evangeline Downs, which has been very, very good to us. Race 2 on Wednesday holds the first false favorite, number 5, Nin to Win. This horse has a big problem. She's never been within 5 lengths of the lead at the top of the stretch or at the finish. Yet she turns up as the morning line favorite here. She's trying a route for the first time, which might put her a little closer to the pace, but she's been not gaining ground or even losing ground in the sprints, so it's hard to imagine she's going to put in any kind of explosive kick at the end of a much longer race. We've got 2 horses we'd like to bet against her, number 2, Prissy Jaden, and number 4, Gratefully. Prissy Jaden showed decent early speed in his debut at 7 furlongs. That's a nice first try for the horse. They keep him at this level, showing a bit of confidence, a little bit of hopefulness that he's got some talent. And one indication that he might is that his 6 furlong split for that 7 furlong race is exactly the same as some of the best 6 furlong times of his rivals in this race. So first time out of the box, he accomplished what these horses have struggled many times to try to do. Prissy Jaden, looking good. Also, number 4, Gratefully, got claimed last time out of a $5,000 claimer for a trainer who's having a really great meet. She has him trying a mile for the first time, and the extra ground might be exactly what this horse needs to get to the winner's circle after competing pretty well in sprints. Those are our 2 alternative selections against a very problematic favorite in the second race. Race 4 at Evangeline is a $5,000 claimer for non-winners, 2 lifetime. They're contesting it at 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. We're going to look at the favorite here, number 10, Go Figure. We figure is false, and 2 plays against him will be number 2, Typhoon Zing, and number 5, Bird Cat Mouse. Okay, number 10, Go Figure, flopped in her first try for the new trainer last time out. 2 races ago, the old trainer negatively dropped this horse. The horse failed to win despite the big class drop, was claimed, came out for the new trainer, and ran even worse. This is pretty clearly declining form, so we're willing to bet against this horse as a favorite. Also, distance could be a problem here. Her best races came at 5 furlongs. She's now trying to run 6.5. A lot of things stacked up against this favorite. And number 2, Typhoon Zing's our first shot against her. She's made our false favorite list a few times in the past, but finally looks to be coming around into shape at the right level. I could be suckered in by her near-miss efforts, as people have been in the past with this horse. But she gets leading rider Diego Sainz to stay aboard. He gave her an aggressive ride last time. It was her best race, not only a long time, but maybe since she won her maiden race a long time ago. That's our first shot. And number 5, Bird Cat Mouse, broke her maiden last time out at the $10,000 level, but she barely won there. So the drop here to $5,000 against winners makes sense. We don't see it as a negative drop. We see this as a fit horse and a trainer being realistic about what her chances are moving out of the maiden ranks. So those are our 2 selections, and I don't usually do this, but I want to mention a third horse in case one of our 2 alternatives are scratched. Number 1, Peaceful Vision, enters this low claiming level for the first time. Her late running style could be perfect if these weak horses in this field can't hold on and handle the early pace. So she's a third choice in this race. I'll only use her. I'll only bet on her if one of my top 2 picks is scratched, but one to keep an eye on. And that's the 4th at Evangeline. We've got one more there for you coming up. Race 8 is our finale here. This is kind of a big week for us, 4 selections at 2 different tracks. Race 8's a $5,000 maiden claimer, 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. The favorite here, number 8, Beartooth Pass, we see as false. And we're going to take a look at number 2, Tap the Cat, and number 6, Baby Maybe, as our alternatives. Number 8, Beartooth Pass, returned to this level 2 races ago and has declined each try since dropping to that level. Despite shortening distance from 6 furlongs to 5 furlongs last time, even managed to lose more ground in the shorter race. She's now failed in all 17 tries to break her maiden and has lost ground in 8 consecutive races. That sounds like a good scenario to bet against, and Tap the Cat's one of the alternatives we're going to use here. She spent her first 3 races running on the wrong surface. Her next 3 races running at the wrong level. Last time out, she was dropped to this level, but she was entered at the wrong distance, just 5 furlongs, which isn't good, really, for her late running style. So this is her first try at the right claiming level, the right distance, and the right racing surface. We'll give her a shot. Number 6, Baby Maybe. Love this name. He's named after an old George Carlin joke about a birth control pill that isn't very effective. So also, in addition, he has a graded stakes winner sire. So he's got a pedigree both in terms of parentage and naming. But that's not why we like her. As for her talent levels, she drops out of a $10,000 claimer in which she ran the best race of her short career. after getting Lasix for the first time. That's not too bad a setup for try at this level. And both of these horses seem better options than the favorite in this race. So that's our third and final selection at Evangeline for Wednesday, June 30th. We've got Mark Kramer coming up in the future. We've got the final 2 weeks of our race towards a positive ROI after 20 weeks. It's a stretch run for us. Don't miss it. Hit like, hit subscribe. Go to our website, lazybettorusa.com, and join us in winning at the races. Thanks for watching.